Hello everyone, my name is Shraddha Bhai and this is my final project presentation and today I'll walk you through my analysis where I'll be comparing performance and output of two statistical tools that is R and JASP. So throughout I'll be comparing them in my exploratory analysis, statistical testing and regression modeling. For whole my final project, I have chosen Airbnb data set which includes variables such as price, room type, availability, reviews, and borrow. So the main objective of my project was to compare these tools, that is I and JABS, and also to uncover the insights about pricing trend across these variables. So throughout the slides, I'll be comparing both these tools and will tell you which one is better for different types of analysis. So moving forward with our first exploratory data analysis, here we have box plot comparing price distribution by room type and borough. So in the R, I created a combined variable and sorted categories by median price, which gave me a more readable visuals, whereas JAS also showed a similar distribution but lacked the sorting options. Here the insights which we have is that the hotel room had the highest price variability, whereas the shared rooms were consistently very low. So, uh, comparing R and JAS, here we see that R is preferred due to the higher customization and clarity in plot. Whereas Jasp is also quick to use, but it doesn't gives us more customizable options. Further, moving towards the scatter plot, this plot shows us the relationship between the number of review and price. So in R, I use transparency to manage overplotting and added a regression line. Jasp produces a similar scatter plot but lacked the visual clarity. So there is a weak positive correlation, and which means the listing with more reviews might charge slightly more, but it's not a strong pattern as we can see in the plot. So here also the R wins for the better visual interpretation. Next, I performed the statistical testing, that is a t-test to compare the average price between entire homes and private rooms. So in R, I filtered and ran the test in one step, which returned a p-value of 0.89, meaning there is no significant correlation between them. Whereas in JASP, I have to first filter because I was having many pre-subgroups between. So JASP only allows two subgroups. Then then output was quite similar, but the process took more step in JASP. So both the tools gave me the same statistical result, but R was quicker and more efficient. Now, moving towards the ANOVA, here I wanted to see if price slightly differ significantly across combination of room type and borough. So in R, I use a custom column and found a significant difference with a p-value of 0.011. The dot plot also visually mean price and error bars, and we can see those clearly. And just after resolving some grouping issue, I ran a factorial ANOVA and got similar result with the p-value equals to 0.047. So we can say that there are meaningful price differences across room and borough combination, but as my experience on both the tool, I was simpler for group analysis, but while JAF was helpful for in more exploring the interactions. So next I performed the regression. Here, I built a linear regression model to predict price using room type, availability, borrow, and number of reviews. In R, the adjusted R square was only 0.00038. This suggests that the model explains very little of the variation in the price. The diagnostic plots also showed non-normal residuals. So here I also added the simple correlation test, and price and reverse had extremely weak correlation, that is R is equal to 0.01. And in JAS, the model was similar, but some coefficients were dropped due to the collinearity. The adjusted R squared, as we can see here in the graph, the adjusted R squared 10 was 0.0. So here we can say that neither model is strong, but I offered better diagnosis and flexibility. But the JASP output was easier to interpret for quick checks. And moving towards our final comparisons, so I would say for EDA, R was better as it gives us the customizable options, while JASP was quicker, but it took a lot more steps. For t-test and ANOVA are a lot better filtering as it gives us options to take many subsegments, whereas in JAS we have to filter out and choose only two. And for regression, R provided detailed diagnosis, but JAS gives us more like exploring intersections. So to compare the overall everything, I would say R is when I needed to tell a storytelling with some customized visuals and with all model controls, and when I need to run uh, to do some quick analysis, I would use Jazz as it will give quick tests or present to someone without having the prior coding skills. So to conclude everything through the analysis, I learned that while visual differences exist, both the tools produce valid outputs. The biggest insight from the data was that the room type and borrow affect price, but the relationship between reviews and price is very weak. And helped me to dig deeper into the visuals and diagnosis, while JAPS allows me to give a quicker access to summary statistics. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope my analysis gave you a better view of our JASP. Thank you.